So you say you've tried everything and you still are unable to manifest your goals. What the heck is going on? Well, you're not alone if you feel this way. Many feel that in spite of all of their efforts, it's just not happening. So how can I achieve my goals? Is there a trick to it? Is there a key? What's the deal? Stay tuned. I'm going to give you the 3 best practices that if you follow through will guarantee your success. Let's get started right now. How can you achieve your goals? What are the necessary steps in the process? Neville Goddard emphasized that we need to rearrange our mind and be merged in creative unity with what he referred to as God, right? In order for everything to unfold and for us to receive what we visualized and what we desire. So let's get into those steps and clarify them for you right now. This is going to be extremely practical. Stay with me. The only thing that differs between a magnetized and demagnetized or not magnetized piece of steel is the arrangement of its molecules. The arrangement of its molecules. And so we know that they can make something magnetic and then they can make it so that it's not magnetic depending on how the molecules and the electrons are arranged in that magnet. It's the same way with our minds. What our minds are focused on and how they're arranged draw us to and draw what we desire to us just like a magnet. First of all, we have to make that arrangement, and that's what we're going to discuss today. So I love it. Neville speaking about the magnetism in chapter 2 of The Power of Awareness. He says, when the particles, talking about this arrangement in the magnet, when the particles are marshaled in ranks so that the number of them face in one direction, focused in one direction, the substance is a magnet. So magnetism is not generated, it's displayed. So it simply is. But for magnetism to become, right, when it comes to our minds, we have to rearrange and arrange our mental molecules, you could say, to be in harmony with what we desire. And that, again, is what we're going to do right now. So, step number 1. Step number 1 is going to seem very simple, but don't miss this point. You need to know exactly what you want before you can be drawn together with it. And I mean specifically what you want. If you want a home, you need to know what kind of home, where you would like it to be located, the area, be it the mountains or by a river, be it by the beach, whatever the case is. What type of home do you want? What would the interior look like? Would it have a backyard? Would it have a front porch? What would the interior look like, right? What kind of furniture? What kind of home do you want, and what kind of a home environment would that look like? You need to know specifically. You can't just say, I'd like a career where I'd like to make a lot of money. What specifically would that career look like? How much money would you be making? Right? What would that look like if you were already successfully acting in that career? If you want a partner, it's not enough just to say, I want a lovely partner who treats me well. Well, everyone does. Specifically, what personality traits would you like to see in that person? For one, it helps to know in your previous relationships personality traits and habits that turned you off that you didn't like. What would the opposite of those habits be? What would it look like? How would they conduct themselves What would your relationship be like with them? And what personality traits and habits would they have that would harmonize with yours? Be specific, right? You want to be a couch potato, you don't marry an athlete. You're an athlete, you don't hook up, you're not with somebody who simply wants to sit around and eat chips. So you need to know who you are, who I am, your I am, who are you, for you to find that vibrational match. And again, it's a magnetic or vibrational match that we're talking about. And Neville spoke about it in terms of rearranging our minds to be a match, a vibratory match for what we desire in our life. So you have to know exactly what you want. Now, when you determine exactly what you want, step 2. Step 2 is something I have all of my clients do. And that is write down exactly what that would look like. Write it out. Again, if the key desire is to have abundance, to have health, to be living with security, to have the mate of your life. It could be all of those things or one of those things in particular that you're working on first. If it's all of them, that's fine. What would the overall picture look like if you already had that life? So if you already had that home, that income, the money in the bank, you already had that health, you already were living in that home, you could actually combine all of them if that's what you want. How would you do that? Well, first of all, get a complete picture of what that would look like, what he or she would look like in your life. Again, their personality traits, etc. What your bank account would look like. And would you have your bills paid off? What would your health be like? So maybe there's a limitation in your health right now. What would the difference be then? Would it be shedding weight? Would it be physically being stronger? Adding muscle, right? Adding endurance, being able to hike, bike, whatever your goal might be related to your health. Being off medication maybe, right? Having that healthy life. Now, security, what would that look like for you? Where would you be living? Who would you be with? You want the complete picture. Write it out. Now, this may take several pages for you to write it out. But that exercise is the beginning of you knowing exactly what you want, seeing it in detail. So that's step number 2. Now, step number 3, imagine, as Neville talks about, an imaginal scene, a particular act that you are personally involved in that would take place after you already have your desires fulfilled. So after you already have that wonderful job, partner, home, etc., what would imply, what type of a scene or act would imply that you already have it? Of course, it would have to be something that would happen after it takes place. So perhaps this, in reality, is perhaps 6 months from now or a year from now. And now you're actually already in that life. What does it look like? Okay, so now take one particular scene. For example, if it involved a great relationship, being with your family, having that lovely home, having your bills paid off, already in that healthy condition, you could even combine those by, for example, imagine that you're sitting on a back porch, right, of your beautiful home, and you could bring it to life with all the vivid sensory perception you'd like, with taste and smell and sight and touch even. Right? How could you do that? You could make the scene, for example, a barbecue on a beautiful spring or summer's day in your backyard, in your new home, with your lovely partner, right? And if you want family members to be there, perhaps your kids, if you're older, maybe your grandchildren, and they're playing, the table is set, you're working the barbecue, and there's a beautiful steaks or chicken or whatever you happen to be cooking, the smell of which is just filling the air along with the spices. Oh, the pepper, the fresh cracked pepper and the salt. And I would have some cayenne pepper on there. I would already have marinated it ahead of time in a beautiful barbecue marinade, right? Now those steaks are sizzling, right? Maybe you've got some beautiful yellow, rich, tasty corn on the cob that you're barbecuing, all right? And all of that's cooking up, and the children are playing, or perhaps your partner is there with you, standing with you by the barbecue, and then your partner turns to you. This is a specific scene. You got the picture? They turn to you and say, "Our life is amazing together. Thank you so much, sweetheart." And you turn to them and you simply answer, "Yes, we are so blessed. I am so grateful." And that's it. That's the entire scene. You're there, you're enjoying, you already have what you desire, it's already yours. You visualize that now. You can taste it. That barbecue, you can smell it. You can hear the sound of joyful play of the children or grandchildren or both, right? The chatter of happy people. You're in that beautiful weather. The table is set. Steaks are cooking. The partner is with you, putting her or his arm around you and expressing how beautiful life is now, and then you responding that you agree. So you've used auditory, you've used verbal, right? You're using sight, sense, sound, taste, touch, and you're making it real. That is the step 3. Okay, now, what are those 3 steps again? First, you need to know what you want, see it in detail. What do you really want your life to look like? Right? Secondly, imagine it's already happened. What are the details of what your life will look like and be like were it already true now? Write it out. Write it out in detail. It may take several pages in your notebook. Step 3. Narrow things down to a particular scene that implies that you already have it. Doing those 3 things and then repeating them daily, particularly step 2 and 3, will rearrange the molecules of your mind and heart and put you on that vibration of having. Because it's the idea that you already have what you want. You're not going to have it. It's not that it will happen. You already have it. You're feeling it, you're sensing it, you're making it real in your life. Now, with those 3 steps in mind, what you're doing is creating your habitual state. Your habitual vibrational state, magnetized state, we could say, of having and being what you wish to have, do, and be. If you do this every morning, right, actually sit, close your eyes, and particularly go into step 3 and imagine that scene of you already having, using all the visual and all of your senses to spiritually imagine and be in that scene. I would also recommend that you read and reread your story as you have written it out of how your life will be then. This also continues to enrich you and rearrange your mind and heart. Right? One bonus tip. Ready? I'm going to give you one bonus tip. Be careful what you feed your mind and heart every day. What you listen to, what you read, what you watch on the internet, what you do also with your phone when it regards to social media, the news, and what you expose yourself to. In order to reach and maintain that vibrational state that you want to be in, that will be a vibrational match for you to draw yourself to and draw what you desire to you. You need to keep your mind on what is noble, what is good, in line with your goals. So watch out for what you read, what you listen to. Purposely seek out good material. If you're not reading Neville Goddard's works, I recommend that you order his works online, or you can also see all of his books, lectures, and everything actually for free on YouTube and by Googling it, right? You can get all of his books and everything else, lectures in PDF form for reading, right? And also auditorially through your ears, you can actually, of course, listen to his lectures. There's so much online in that regards. And, of course, I recommend reading his books and lectures. So if you do that, and I would do that daily, by the way. I do that every morning. I would get up an hour early if I were you. If you can do that, if you need to do it at night before you sleep, that's fine. But if you get up every day, perhaps an hour early, and take time to read for perhaps a half an hour or longer, and then take time to meditate on what you've written in your script of your life and what it will look like. That was step 2. And then taking time to go into the silence and meditate with step 3 in mind, bringing into mind your imaginal scene of implication that you already have it and you're having that experience. I just gave you one example of the barbecue. You choose, because your desire and your outcome that you're seeking may be completely different than the example I gave. Okay, so you choose. But as you go into your imagination each and every day and dwelling in that, Neville says that it becomes your constant habitual state. And it's the constant habitual state which you return to most often that defines your character, determines the vibrational level that you're on, and whether you will bring everything that's already there, it's already created, and you're simply occupying it in your mind, in your imagination, and you're drawing it to you. If you do this frequently, and I mean every day, continue to go back to these three steps, you will begin to see the bridges, the events unfold, and things will simply happen. You'll meet the right people. Things will simply begin to turn your way. You can't always explain it. You don't need to fully understand it. You don't need to know how it will happen. Things will simply begin to unfold. Why? Because you've used your powerful imagination to bring in the reality you seek. Practice these daily, and you will see results. Thanks for tuning in, and please click for more if you'd like to find out in detail how to use these steps even further. I'll talk to you again real soon.